Hey everyone, welcome back for another Slim Sports interview. As always, I'm your host, JD, and joining me today is a double-double machine from the FGCU, the powerhouse in the A Sun, known for raining threes. That's what she's doing, and also being a force on the boards. I'm talking about Uju Ezeudu. How's it going, Uju?
Downhill, a kick, and a three. Ezeudu.
It's going well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just thought about this. I really hope I didn't butcher your last name. Did I butcher that?
No, I mean you said it perfectly. It rhymes with Uju Ezeudu. So you said it.
All
You
right.
said it.
Perfect. That's always one of my biggest worries is I butcher someone's name because that does not go well. But no, definitely happy to have you on here. I got to see you play in person last year when I did stats for FGCU, and you ended up having a role off the bench behind some great players such as Shea Carter and Sophia Stiles. But now you're taking on that starter role again, like you were when you were with Denver, which we'll get into that here in a sec. But the season so far has been pretty good. You guys ended up getting a big win against Brown, went off, had a very tough battle against USC, where in both games you knew your role, you knew what you had to do in order to help your team out. Talk to me real quick about the start of this new 2023-2024 season and how it's been going for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think it's been going good. Like we have as far as team wise, we have a lot of new additions. I think eight. The number is eight new transfers coming in. So I think for any team that'll be like a big difference. And I think our main mission is to show like what we can bring to the table. Of course, like we're gonna continue to carry on the FGCU legacy and continue to play Coach Mexico style of basketball. But to show like what we can bring to the table, our differences from like our last year's team, all they were able to accomplish and show we can. But the beginning of the year so far has been good. I think every game we've gotten to know ourselves a little bit better, and I think it'll continue to be that way. And Coach Mexico gives us a really good schedule to really prepare ourselves to go into the ASUN. So I think we're all pretty excited about the challenges that we have coming up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys just played number 21 USC. You guys have Kentucky at home. You guys actually beat them at their place last year. And then Duke, who you guys played against them last year at home. Now you're going to their territory on the road. Crazy how Smesco's able to get these schools to go up against you guys. LSU, Michigan State, they've played in past years, beating them. You guys obviously beat Washington State last year in the NCAA tournament. So his coaching style has really been incredible. What he's done for these players. Kirsten Bell, who's now a two-time WNBA champion with the Las Vegas Aces, I know she talks very highly of him, and he's a big reason why she's the player that she is today. What has it been like learning from Coach Smesco? What's so unique about him?
He's definitely unlike any other coach that I've ever had. Coming to FGCU was like a really big decision for me in terms of like I wanted leaving my old school, and I really wanted a coach. I wanted to learn about basketball. I think I spent a lot of time like playing, and I think when transferring, I could have gone to a lot of other universities and, had that like star, quality as I did in Denver. But I wanted to be able to just learn amongst like great people, and anyone who knows Semesco talks very highly of him. And I felt like I was left out. I was like, I want to see what he's about. And he's about everything that he says he is. Like, he's so detail oriented, and everything goes back to basketball. And I feel like if you're around him for as a season long, you learn so much about the history of basketball, how certain screens, like everything is, as much as you think it can't go deeper, he'll make it go deeper. And I think that's kind of exciting if you love basketball.
Yeah, he's definitely been able to help out a lot of great players. A lot of your teammates from last year are now playing professional ball overseas. Tashara Morehouse and Shea Carter. Kayla Webb, I believe, even signed a contract as well, and she was the backup point guard. So that just tells you the talent that he's able to bring in, obviously yourself included. And you talked about your time at Denver. You were there for 3 years, and those last 2 years you really went off. During the 2021-22 season, you averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds a game. You were an all-conference performer. And then you made that transition to FGCU last year, and you ended up averaging about 7 points and 4 rebounds a game. So big difference there as far as your role coming off the bench. You definitely were an energy person. I do remember you screaming a lot, especially on the and ones. So talk to me real quick about embracing that role, going from being a star to now accepting that role off the bench last year.
Yeah, I think when leaving Denver, I had to really realize like what was important for me. I think for me personally, like I wasn't looking for any more like personal accolades. Like I wasn't really looking to get player of the year. I wasn't really looking to do anything for myself, but I wanted to know what it felt like to be on a winning team. And I really wanted to know what it was like to win a conference championship, to go to the NCAA tournament. And I think my best chances were coming to FGCU to do that. And I think a part of me understood that that probably would take some me playing a role and just doing what needs to be done in order to help the team. I think and before you get into the situation, you're always thinking that, oh, it's going to be easy. And then when you're in the role, you're like, oh, this isn't like what you thought it was going to be. But I think I had some of the last year's team was probably like one of the best teams I've ever been on in my life. Some of the most like supporting people to be around. So it wasn't that difficult to be around like coaching staff and like teammates who were very encouraging, and we were winning a lot. So it was a good experience for sure.
Oh yeah, you guys definitely won a lot of games. That's what FGCU is known for doing. They're a perennial powerhouse in the ASUN. They win year after year. Obviously, you know that very well. After winning last year, going on, playing Washington State and beating them in the first round of the tournament. Then you guys went off and played against Villanova, but you also beat some really good teams in Kentucky and a couple of other, Power 5 level schools last year during the regular season. Even played Duke at home in Fort Myers, Florida. So that speaks to the level of this program. Talk to me real quick about those big games, especially in the NCAA tournament, and what it was about this team that helped get you over the hump and get those dubs.
Yeah, Semesco has always been doing a good job at getting us really a challenging schedule in order to prepare ourselves for March. I think us going to Hawaii last year for as long as we were there and knowing that we were going to play Stanford, and at the time they were battling for #2 and #1 team in the country, and that was a really tough fought game. Like I know probably the end score wouldn't seem that way, but we really fought hard for 4 quarters and we were in the game for a lot of the time. And I think games like that really prepared us for the NCAA tournament when we went to Washington, like when we went to Villanova and played Washington State. There's like a video out of me like telling Shay, like when she's crying after we won, I'm like, we were meant to be here. Like we prepared every single day for those certain moments. So I think it wasn't like an upset, as people say, but like we're a team that's supposed to be there at the end of the year because Coach Shemesco prepares us. So I think we do a good job at battling it early in the year.
Absolutely. And a big part of your guys' scheme, obviously, as everyone knows, is the raining threes. You guys shoot a lot of threes and you make a lot of threes. You actually came into FGCU's program. You had shot some threes here and there at Denver, but that wasn't really a big part of your game. And now you've kind of had to adapt to their playing style to where I watched you against Brown. You were making them like they were nothing. Your 3-point shot has definitely gotten a lot better. I do want to say that. But what was that part like for you as far as adjusting to taking more threes, knocking down more threes, and how that playing style helps your team out a lot?
Yeah, for me personally, like at Denver, it was just whenever I was kind of wide open, don't have to dribble, set kind of three. And I don't even know my percentage. I don't even know. Yeah. But here, Semesco makes the way we prepare in order to shoot those threes, it doesn't just happen off of like one drill that we do. We prepare to learn how to shoot the ball. And for me personally, he really took the time to like really teach me like the technicalities of like how to like make my shot the way my shot is. Like not everyone on our team shot is the same. I think that is very key to like his program. He doesn't take you and change your entire shot. He just makes it better in order to like get a better percentage. So I think it's a really good way that he plays basketball. And I think a lot of other coaches and a lot of teams around the country are taking his style of basketball and using it to their advantage. But he gets to trademark it. He started it first, so he does it the best.
Oh yeah, he definitely does. He's had a lot of great shooters over the years. One of your coaches, Kendall Spray, I got to see her play for him her final year. She was a knockdown shooter for sure. So having her help you out, I'm sure that definitely has gotten your shot a lot better as well as all the other coaches on his staff. And they actually have a very interesting way of recruiting now. They don't really go after true freshmen very much anymore. They have some here and there every so often, but much like yourself, they bring in a lot of transfers. I know you guys had transfers from San Francisco, Rhode Island, SIUE, and a couple of other good schools. I believe Wright State. Bringing in all of these newcomers this year, much like last year, bringing you in, Shea, and some of the other players, Sophia. What does that really do as far as like having your team adapt when you bring in these players from other Division I schools where they were pretty much the stars of their schools the year before? How do you guys kind of adapt to that and get that chemistry going?
I think a big part of the way that Coach Temesco recruits people, because I think this era is just different with COVID. I think COVID really changed a lot of things. So it changed the way that you recruit any team in the country is recruiting. But he really goes after like people who are detail oriented and who are buying into the game plan, who are willing to buy into the game plan. And he doesn't go into any recruiting like situation trying to promise someone something. And I think, not that I'm a coach, but to critique, I think I've been through the recruitment process twice. So I think a lot of coaches like tend to promise you things that they can't fulfill, and a lot of like young athletes hearing those promises go to those programs and like become upset. But he tells you coming into this program, you have to work hard. Everything that you get is something that you're going to have to earn. And I think he does a good job of picking the right people. And also he also involves a lot of like the returning players to like get to know who our future teammates are going to be. So I think he does a good job at like knowing which personnel is going to work together on and off the court. And we do a good job at trying to like bond with everyone.
And something about this team that I've noticed that's kind of different from last year's team and the year before is a lot more size. Obviously, you being there at 6 foot, you had Shea and Sophia there who had some decent size last year as well. But now you're bringing in a couple of players with some good size. Eliza Jimenez, who's from Nevada, she's 6 foot tall. Macarena Malas, who's from the JUCO ranks, she's listed as 6'1". Ajulu Thatha, she's about 6'1", 6'2"-ish. Kiki Adams, who's looking to take a much bigger role this year after breaking out during that March Madness tournament. She's listed as 6 foot as well. That's kind of always been a thing that a lot of fans have talked about that I've noticed over the years is, okay, yeah, we dominate these teams, we do great, but when we go to the NCAA tournament, the size ends up playing a factor. Now you guys add on to the three-point shooting with that size. How do you feel like that advantage is going to help you out throughout this season?
I think it gives us an opportunity to bother a lot of teams, like bother the ball and get a lot of deflections. I think size really does not matter. A lot of the time, it really is about heart and mentality, because you see a lot of like really, really tall people don't have like the kind of it factor, don't have the want. And I think he recruits a lot of people who have the want. I think this time it just all kind of happened to hit that 6 foot range. So I think we get the job done pretty well, and I think we're going to continue to get the job done this year.
I love that mentality. I love that. Size doesn't matter. That's awesome. And that's definitely going to help you guys out a lot throughout this season. And you got some good games coming up. Tomorrow, you guys end up playing FIU, a little Florida rivalry right there. They got some good shooters just like you guys have. And then on Sunday, you play Kentucky inside of Alico Arena. So that's going to be a big one for the fans. I'm sure Alico Arena is going to be packed to the very top. And then obviously, like I mentioned before, you guys have Duke here in a couple of weeks. Old Dominion's a good team as well. Drexel, Southern Miss, as well as a couple of others before conference play starts. So how are you guys really continuing to work on your game as a team collectively heading into these upcoming contests, especially heading into tomorrow for this Florida matchup?
I think we take everything one day at a time. No team is like the next team, so we're going to prepare for each team differently, but continue to keep our same principles. And he does a great job at making sure that we understand the principle and understand the game plan. Him and the staff create a great game plan for each game. So I think we don't go into any game underprepared, and I think that's really a blessing. But each game is going to be any team we play, no matter like what ranking they are, no matter how highly touted or people care about the team, we're going to face every team with respect and, play hard and play FGCU basketball.
Absolutely. And I definitely cannot wait to see what you guys do throughout the season. I'm always tuned into FGCU basketball. Fort Myers homegrown. Love the Eagles. Love watching you guys drain those threes. So I'm definitely going to be tuned in tomorrow, Sunday, all throughout this season. Thank you so much. You're having a great season so far. I know you're going to keep doing it, especially since I believe you were selected as preseason player of the year, weren't you?
Um, I was like selected for like an all team thing, but preseason like player of the year was a girl from EKU. I got like a fan vote or something, but like those don't those don't count.
Yeah, those those don't matter. But I do know that you are right now showing that why you are one of the best players in this conference. I do want to say that you've had a great journey so far. It's going to keep on going. Definitely proud of y'all. Keep doing your thing and wings up.
Wings up. Thank you.